In the house today, we have a very courageous woman who, out of deep frustration, built her life to become a source of inspiration for other women who happen to be passing through the same experience she passed through, in which she turned her story to become the hero. Without wasting time, please tell us your name and where you live, and then go ahead and share your story with us.
My name is Maria. I live in Ibadan presently, but my journey started in a beautiful village called Agbaloba, also in Oyo State of Nigeria. I was born and raised in the warm, sunlit village of Agbaloba, nestled between the cocoa-rich hills of southwestern Nigeria. The earth there is red like blood, and so, perhaps are the secrets we bury in it. At 28, I was not the most eligible woman in the village, but for my irresistible beauty, or so my mother liked to boast. I had graduated from the University of Ibadan with a second-class upper in sociology and returned home to teach at the local secondary school. I was content, if not entirely happy. My mother, however, was far from satisfied. To her, my degrees and job meant little until I produced a husband and bore her grandchildren. Al was woken up by my mother's voice. On this beautiful Saturday, she was staring at me and calling my name, Maria, Maria. I lifted my head, my eyes still blurry. "You're still sleeping," she said. "If you are married, by now wouldn't you have woken up to prepare your husband breakfast?" "Good morning, Mum." She ignored my greetings. "So said Mummy good morning." She answered and said, "What's good about the morning? All your age mates are in their husbands' houses bearing children. Here you are all by yourself without a single suitor. Maria, ain't you ashamed of being single? Mummy, can you please allow me start my day peacefully?" "Shut up," she retorted. "You think I am happy seeing all your friends carrying their baby?" Then arrived Pastor single. Daniel, who came like a prophecy. Tall, eloquent, with a voice like velvet and a face that looked carved rather than born. He had come from Lagos to lead our struggling church. My mother said it was God's answer to her prayers. I said nothing, but my heart whispered things I had never dared speak. So I kept mute. At first, it was innocent. I joined the choir to be closer to him. I sang louder. I learned scriptures I never cared to know before. I dressed modestly but beautifully. He noticed. How could he not? But he was married. We all knew this. His wife, Sister Juliet, lived in Lagos with their 2 children. We never saw her, but her absence spoke louder than any sermon. "She is serving God in another vineyard," he once said during a service. I saw the pain in his eyes, or perhaps I imagined it. Perhaps I only saw what I wanted. One evening after choir practice, rain caught us by surprise. The sky cracked open and poured. We waited in the vestry, huddled in that small, candle-lit room smelling of hymnals and dust. It was then he touched my hand for a moment too long. And in that pause, everything changed. "I see you, Maria," he whispered. I lowered my eyes, heart hammering. "I see you too, Pastor." He did not kiss me that night. That would come later, but the seed was sown. My mother noticed first. "You have a glow about you," she said, watching me grind peppers in the kitchen. "Is it a man?" I said nothing, but she had already begun her plans. She started dropping hints to the pastor about marriage, about my fertility, about legacy. She brought him plantain chips wrapped in lace handkerchiefs, special okra soup, and words soaked in old woman wisdom. "Some Lagos women forget how to be wives," she said once, not so subtly. Then one evening, Pastor Daniel came to visit. He sat under our mango tree, face solemn, Bible resting on his lap like a burden. "I must confess," he said, eyes not on me but on the peeling bark of the tree. "I've tried to stay away from temptation, but what?" I asked, my voice barely a breath. I have prayed, fasted, sought counsel. Still, I feel drawn to you. I swallowed. You're married? He nodded slowly. Yes, but that marriage is dead in spirit. I do not see her. She has her life in Lagos. I have mine here. My mother appeared from behind the curtain, as if summoned by fate. She smiled at us both, like a woman who had just seen the blueprint of her dreams. I knew it, she said. God never makes mistakes. What followed was a courtship that was both secret and public. He never held my hand in the open, but he gave sermons about Ruth and Boaz, about second chances and divine arrangements. My mother became his loudest supporter, whispering into the ears of elders. They fought behind closed doors. She threatened fire and brimstone. But the church elders, swayed by my mother's campaign and the pastor's own charm, pleaded peace. 1 month later, she returned to Lagos. Permanently. 2 weeks after that, Pastor Daniel and I were married in a modest ceremony filled with ululations, drums, and unspoken judgments. That night, after the guests had gone, I sat beside him in our small matrimonial room. His eyes met mine, and I wondered, was this love, or just the shadow of it? Are you happy? He asked, brushing a lock of hair from my face. I smiled. I'm not sure, but I feel chosen. He held my hand. So do I. Then came the storm after the vows. The first child, Gideon, came a year later. A beautiful boy with dimples like mine, and his father's long fingers. But at 9 months, he developed a fever that refused to go. 1 hospital visit turned into 5. Then came the blood transfusions. A doctor at FMC Ibadan was gentle but firm. Madam, your son is SS. Both of you are carriers. What? I nearly fainted. Didn't you and husband do the usual checkup before committing to one another? But my husband said he is Hey A, although I've never cared to know my own genotype. I was completely carried away with love and passion for my husband. Looking at my baby reeling in pain made me cry profusely. The doctor shook his head. I've seen his new test result. He is also Hey S. Both of you are. I confronted Pastor Daniel that night, and he confessed. I didn't lie, he said. I thought I was Hey. That report was from years ago. I didn't know. But we were supposed to test again together. We were too consumed with love for each other. I'm sorry, he apologized by holding me and trying to wipe my tears away. He knelt down and prayed, begged me again, and started crying. I forgave him. What else could I do? I already loved our son more than anything. When our second child, Ephraim, came, also SS, I didn't cry. I just went numb. 3 years into the marriage, I began to notice the calls. Late-night phone conversations. A strange softness in his tone that I hadn't heard in months. One day, while folding laundry, I found a photo tucked into the back of his Bible. A woman with caramel skin, dimpled cheeks, and a child maybe 6 years old. Who is this? I asked. He froze. That's Abigail, he said. My first wife. The one I told you about. First wife? My heart skipped. She has a son, but I thought the boy wasn't mine. We were not speaking then. Recently, we did a DNA test. He's mine. I sat down. The room spun. You never told me she had a child. You said no child, no life. I didn't know. I was angry when she later called to say she had a baby boy. And now, she wants us back together. She never remarried. She said she forgave me. We've been talking. He avoided my eyes. I'm still with you, Maria, he said, trying to touch my hand. But I pulled away. I was filled with indignation. I felt I was fooled, and this brought about communication gap between us. I became lukewarm even with church activities. Many questions were rising from within the church members, but I refused to be the one to speak out. Let him speak out. He is the one in the center of it all. He is the pastor. He is the husband of many wives. He is the player. He is the one who has answers for all questions. Time rolled by and the gap between us widened. Gosh, in 2020, Gideon nearly died from a sickle cell crisis. I stayed with him at the hospital for 5 days, sleeping in plastic chairs, praying silently every hour. One night, while watching him sleep, I remembered what my mother told me as a child. A woman is not clay for men to mold. She is the potter of her own destiny. Picking up my broken pieces, I stopped waiting for Pastor Daniel. I started a support group for mothers of children with sickle cell. I turned my small Sunday school skills into a paid online tutoring job. Pastor Daniel decided to go join his first love, Abigail, and her son. After having had 4 children, 2 with Juliet in Lagos and painfully 2 with me, who had sickle cells whom I put in the hands of God to protect and keep alive for me, not minding my shortcomings. I mean my sins for seeing the red flags, but still went ahead with marrying him. I still ask myself these questions. Was it my mother's pressure, or my nativity and passion for Pastor Daniel? For I'll definitely know it's not love. I wrote blog posts raw, painful, honest about love, faith, and betrayal. One post went viral. The pastor who left his church and his children twice from 2 women. He never contacted me directly again. But through someone, I heard he reads my blog. That was enough. It's been 7 years now. Ephraim is 6. Gideon is 9. Both still brave little warriors, full of laughter despite their pain. We celebrate every year they survive like a miracle. As for Pastor Daniel, I heard he now preaches in Lekki. His church has a glass pulpit and LED lights. They say he calls himself the Redeemed Shepherd. I wish him no harm. But I never changed my surname. Not because of him, but because it's the name my children carry. And I carry them, still. So when people ask me, "Are you still married to the pastor?" I smile, sip my Zobo and say, "No, he's married to his past. I'm married to the future."